Counter.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
You'll be right.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Hello and welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And today we're going to be talking about a bit of a difficult topic. It's the topic about leaving family behind.
Yeah, which is...
In fact, not just leaving... In fact, it's more telling the family and getting them on board.
Yeah, once you've told them, it's easy.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the hardest part is thinking, how on earth are we going to tell them?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what this podcast was inspired by a new member of our community, our NZ Ahead member community. He put out a question, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But later on in the show, I'm going to share, me and Brian are going to share with you a very, very valuable tip that we have just discovered. In fact, we discovered it a couple of times, but that we want to share with you about returning back to see family once you've left where you live.
Yeah, exactly. Going back from New Zealand to
wherever you're
wherever
from.
it is you're from.
Very important thing you need to remember, but I'll share that with you at the end of the show. But yeah, let's just jump straight in. So what it was is we had a new member join our community, our private membership community, and this guy said that he works with his dad. He's from America. He works with his dad. They've got a business together, and he's told everyone else that he's moving to New Zealand, or the other members of his family is moving to New Zealand, apart from his dad, because he hasn't got the heart to tell him, because he knows it's going to break his dad's heart.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? That's the hard part that I was talking about. You know, it's all well and good. Oh, yeah, we're going to go to move to New Zealand. But you have to tell either your mum, dad, parents, whoever it is, or just relatives, friends, even.
So what we wanted to share in this podcast is just some tips that we've come across in our 13 years of being away from family, some tips that really, really help. And also a couple of things that people have said that... Even to this guy on the community, they said it to him, and I just thought, what a fantastic message to send to someone. This comment came from a guy called Justin. Thank you, Justin, for this wonderful idea. So originally, the person that we're talking about his dad, and he hasn't got the heart to tell him, they play golf every weekend. Like I said, they've got the business together. They're very close. They play golf every weekend. And Justin, another member of the community, said, listen, how about you say to your dad, there's some fantastic golf courses in New Zealand.
Yeah, which there is. Some amazing ones, world class. Some of them, they really are the ones that are around Taupo, Lake Taupo. There's some amazing ones there.
Yeah.
And it's reserve as well.
Right. So if you were into golf, or your dad was into golf, imagine saying that. Okay, look, we're moving to. I know, just to soften the blow. To give it that just a little bit of attraction for the other person that you're leaving behind. And I thought that was a fantastic idea from Justin. So thanks for that. And and it applies to anything, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Yeah.
Because I was thinking, what else could you say? And I thought, imagine if your mum was into Art Deco and you could say, look, we're going to do a trip to Napier together, or gardens.
There's plenty of little festivals that go on, isn't there? All over New Zealand. You just look at where they are, and you can say, when you come here, I'm going to take you to the garden festival. I'm going to take you to this. There's not stately homes, because it's not really that sort of place, but there are places which have big gardens and things like that, isn't there? And you can go and see these pioneer style places that were built in Victorian times.
I mean, let's face it, it's New Zealand, so who isn't going to want to come to New Zealand? But what we're saying is pick something specific to your family that that your mum and dad, or your your friend or your auntie, brother, whatever it is, love, and use that to just soften
the blow.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, most parents understand that it's your life.
And some don't.
This is what you want. This is what. Yeah, but they should understand.
I know they
that,
should, but they don't. Let's face it, they don't.
But that's because they're being selfish.
I know.
You're not being selfish moving away. You're trying to improve your life, and the majority of people tend to want to move away either with children as well. So you're thinking that you're going to improve their life as well. And is it an improvement? The majority of people in our NZ community would definitely say yes, 100%.
Yeah.
You look at the people that have brought children, but there are plenty of single people coming over as well that are in the community as well.
We told him, I think we've told this story before, but I won't name him, but we told a member of our family that we were moving to New Zealand, and it just went down it was embarrassing, wasn't it?
It was a little bit, yeah.
It went down like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
An absolute lead balloon. And not only that, he kind of made us feel bad about moving there. It was like, why would you even think about going there?
Yeah, isolating yourself from the rest of the family.
Yeah.
And I can understand, yes. All right.
Canberra, but would you ever say that to someone? Mind you, I don't know, because imagine I don't know what I'd be like if Sonny and Tess said.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know until the shoe's on the other foot, do you?
What do you think Sonny and Tess will use for us to bribe us to come over?
What if they move?
Yeah,
if they move to America or England or something like that. I really don't know.
They'd probably just say a food tour, a wine tour, or just
that's probably what it would be. I'm going to. But that's the thing is I'm going to take some time off. And that's the thing, isn't it? But we'll get to that later on in the show. But telling your parents or whoever it is that you've got to tell, you've got to be brave. You've just got to think. This is my choice, my choice. It's not. It won't be their choice. Who wants to see their kids go? And move
their grandchildren.
But at the end of the day, if I don't do this, then I'm not going to be a happy person.
No,
thinking that I've got to stay here. No. Who would want that? No. I wouldn't want that. As if Sonny turned around to me and said, "I'm going back to England," I'd be like, "Okay."
Well, do you know what I would do?
Yeah, but not what.
Do you know what I would do?
Go on, what would you do?
Follow him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it all depends.
No, you're not, young man.
Yeah, but it all depends how old your mum and dad are.
Yeah.
Are your mum and dad... everyone thinks, because you moved to New Zealand, the mum and dad are going to be in the 80s. Well, they're probably not. They're probably the same age as me.
I doubt it, Bri. There's no one that young in our community.
No, I don't think so.
That would make them to be about, what? To have a mum and dad, you're old. You're old. How old would that make them old?
I'm 59, so if I had children when I was 20, there would be 30.
Bit of a goer.
Yeah, bit of a goer. There you go. Yeah, bit of a wild lad.
Yeah, say you were a wild lad.
Yeah, but
and had children when you were 20.
A lot of people have children when they're 20, 22.
I know, my mum did as well. Yeah,
so
I'm just
joking.
saying.
Yeah,
so it's so serious.
No, but I'm just saying, everyone thinks that they're decrepit and they can't get on a plane and come and visit.
Okay. All right. So anyway, now we've had our little arguments about that. So that's number one. So just do. I think, like I say, thank you, Justin. Fantastic suggestion. Use that. That is brilliant. Number two, don't forget, and this is something you've got to be really, really aware of. There are things like video call, FaceTime, video messenger. They're brilliant these days.
Yes.
Aren't they, Bri?
Well, they are. It's fantastic.
I know it's not the same, but...
No, but when we came, we left in 2009 and Skype was about as good as it got. But mum and dad tended not to have a very good internet connection. It was just not dial-up, but it was pretty poor, because that's what they paid for. They, I don't know what they used it for, really, but just because they didn't really have computers.
So they could say to their neighbours, "I've got Skype."
Yeah, I suppose it was, wasn't it? And they had to go out and buy a webcam. I remember having to go out and buy a webcam and stuff like that. But if you put into the budget, give your mum and dad an iPad or something, or a tablet or whatever it is that you think they're going to use.
Good idea.
And just go, hey, you're going to call me on this. Buy them a little tripod stand for it, and they can just sit there and do. We keep calling it FaceTime. Apple is FaceTime. We've got WhatsApp. You've got Facebook Messenger. There's so many,
ones,
and WhatsApp kind of goes around all the houses with Android tablets, PCs. Everything, doesn't it? So I'm just saying, it's you don't have to be tied to one platform.
And I've told you this story before about my sister when she moved over. She had a daughter, and she had her second daughter while she was in New Zealand. Yeah. And I told you this, but the FaceTime camera, every single day of Lulu's life on the iPad was set up for her grandparents in England, and they used to watch them having breakfast. They would watch her getting ready for school. I mean, it was just at first I thought, that's a bit weird. It was like having
if you get into it, then
they're well into it.
My mum and dad were never really that into it because
so if you set good habits from the start, then
I know,
right.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you know,
yeah. And that is what we're going to do. And yes, I know it's not ideal, but do you know what? It's pretty damn good.
Yeah. You know, and I don't think we're going to talk about this on the podcast, but I'll mention it anyway. You know, there are things such as grandparent visas where they can come and stay for 6 months at a time, you know, and stuff like that. It's just, you know, you're not tied to the 90 days or whatever it is. And there's things that you can do like that. That means they can always come and visit you whenever.
We've got a couple of people in the community that are bringing their parents over on
those visas.
On those visas, yeah.
But
remember, if you're moving to New Zealand and you're looking for an immigration advisor to help you with all the process, the company we recommend are NZ Shores. The guys over there are absolutely brilliant. Loads of members of our NZ Ahead private community use them and they have raved about them. And that's why we recommend them. The brilliant thing about NZ Shores is they offer a free assessment. So if you're wondering whether or not you're eligible to move to New Zealand, you go to their website, you fill out a form and they will contact you and tell you whether or not it's worth moving forward and how they can help you. And that's absolutely free. The way you can get to that assessment form is by going to www.nzshores.com/Liz. So that's nzshores.com/Liz. Go over there, fill out the form, and you will be in such good hands with NZ Shores.
there's things that you can do like that. That means they can always come and visit you whenever.
We've got a couple of people in the community that are bringing their parents over on
those visas.
On those visas, yeah.
But the thing is New Zealand's pretty good if you're visiting your family and you're a resident, you know. So there's ways of getting around things and stuff like that, isn't there? And
let's just say as well, I think this is the most important thing. If you're sitting there and you're racked with guilt, which I know you're going to be, because who isn't, about taking your children away from the grandparents, or you're taking yourself away from your parents, or leaving your auntie, whatever it is you feel guilty about, just remember that when they come over and visit, you are never, ever, I don't care if you live next door to them and you're always in and out of their houses, you're never going to get the quality time that you will get when they come over and spend time with you.
Yeah. And the great thing is with
Will they, Brian?
Yeah, because the great thing is with New Zealand, so say you live in the UK, or say you live in upstate New York or something like that, you can leave your horrendous winter behind.
I know.
You know, and you can come out to New Zealand and you're there in the summer. So you can either come just after Christmas, so you can have your wintry cold Christmas, knowing full well in January you're going to be going to the sun and to see your family. Yeah. And they're off for the whole of January if you've got kids. And
you might be thinking, oh, well, who can afford that? But remember, all they need is their flights. Yeah. They just need 2 flights over there. You're going to pick them up from the airport. They're going to stay in your house, eat dinner with you. They're not going to need, it's not going to cost masses of money. I know, you know, you've got to find the money for the flights, but it's doable. And when they do come over, like when Brian's mum and dad came over to see us when we first moved over, they stayed for a month or 6 weeks. I can't remember.
For 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yep.
6 weeks of living in our house, 24, flipping nightmare it was, 24 hours a day. Don't ever do this. No. 24 hours a day.
A brand new house as well. It was, wasn't
Can't wait to see the back of them. Yeah. 24 hours a day, they are with you. You're never, they bonded with Tess and Sonny like I've never seen, because we lived in Bath when we lived in England, and they lived miles away.
Yeah, we lived 180 miles away.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's a 3-4 hour drive.
But I was just talking to Tim on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he said they're really nervous about moving because his mother-in-law lives 2 doors up. Yeah, and they're one of these families that, you know, she picks the children up from school. But even that, it isn't quality.
No, it's not the same, because it's like, can you look after the kids? And it's like, well, no, because I'm working myself, or I've got things to do. Or
you're busy, you're making tea or whatever.
So you're going to come on holiday and spend time with your family. Yeah. So that's the biggest upside of the whole thing about moving away. Is like, yes, you're not going to see them as much, but that's what the FaceTime audio is, and the, you know, WhatsApp and things like that. But that quality time, it's so important.
Because do you think? I don't think this. Do you think, right, if we hadn't moved to New Zealand and we stayed in England, we would have ever gone on holiday with your mum and dad?
No. And that's
Hang on, I'll pause a bit.
No. Well, we wouldn't.
No, probably not. No,
we probably wouldn't, because we would go down and see them and spend the weekend with them. But they're both at the time they lived in sheltered accommodation, so we couldn't stay with them.
No.
So we always had.
Even so, you work in and you go down there for a weekend, or you might go down there for a week, which we never did, but you could.
Yeah, but they would come up and see us.
I know they would.
So that's
your mum and dad. Yeah,
Dad always brought his paintbrush.
That's right. Your dad is a different kettle of fish, because you and him worked together, and he wanted to come and always help out. But like I say, Bri, just being able to have them come over for that 6 weeks. Yeah, I don't know. I really saw how much they bonded with the kids. How much quality time you spent with them, and me.
And we went on a little mini holidays at weekends, didn't we?
And your brother. Your brother's just been over in 2020, just before COVID.
But the other thing I was going to say about it, which is you can do, my family's from the UK. My brother lives in America. And we had the best holiday ever when we went and flew out to California.
That was so good.
My brother lives in Florida, so he flew my mum and dad to California. He flew to California because he's got a house up in a place called Truckee. And we had a holiday ourselves, didn't we? We flew into LA, drove up the coast, went to San Francisco, then went across to Truckee and met them there. And we spent 10 days with them.
And again, who would ever do that?
You wouldn't do that. It would just be in the too hard basket, So you can always think, well, if they don't want to come all the way, or they want to go to Australia, or they want to go, I don't know, they want to go to South Africa, you could fly out and meet them there or whatever, and have that holiday, which you might never do that if you lived at home together.
No. I think the other thing as well, just worth mentioning, and I know I don't want to sound like it's deceiving people or anything like that, but you can always say, look, we're just going to give it a couple of years.
Yeah,
until they've got used to the idea,
Yeah, because you need to settle in. I mean, my mum and dad.
I think we said that to your mum and dad.
I'm just trying to think. It would have been around about 18 months that's when they came out, because we
just built the house, hadn't we?
Yeah, 2009. We started building the house in 2010, and they came over early 2011, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah, so and that worked out just perfect, because we felt like we knew the place. As in New Zealand, and we knew where to take them, and just felt more at home, didn't we? Yeah.
But please don't forget as well, and I know it's such a hard thing to have to do. Believe me, we know how hard it is. Yeah. But don't forget, you can always go back. You can tell them that you can always go back. They don't have to. Yeah. You're not going, right, this is it. Even if you're selling your house and whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, ideally, no, you don't want to go back, but you can. It doesn't matter if you do.
Yeah, but you can just say to your family, it's in our budget that we're going to be coming back every year or every 18 months or something like that. So, because that's another thing. Why not?
We've got.
I know it's money, but you put it in your budget. If you're selling your house, then put $10,000 away and go, that's the emergency fund or the flight fund.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good idea, isn't it?
Not everybody's got $10,000 that they can, spare, but if you've just sold your house, then do it.
Yeah, just keep it aside, like you say. Yeah. We've got a, I don't mean to tease you, but we've got in our private community, as part of our membership package, we release a private members only podcast every month. And the one that we've just gone out last month is Brian's mum and dad.
Yeah.
And
not my mum and dad.
No, sorry.
Brian,
I should,
the US version.
should say, Brian McFarlane. So you've probably seen their YouTube videos, Brian and Miley, they're Zoomies abroad. Well, they're both members of our community. And we interviewed his mum and dad. And just to get the other side of the story, just to see, you always hear about our side, but you never hear it from the parents. And I just love those two. Yeah. They were just so, you could see, he said, didn't he, the dad? I was nearly crying when he said that. Yeah. He said, I cried when saying goodbye to Brian, and it was so hard. But seeing how happy he is there, he said, and we're going over to see them.
Yeah.
And they were so excited, weren't they, that they were coming to New Zealand and they were going to do this stuff. And,
that's the thing, because there's like, whenever would your parents or your family go to New Zealand? They don't. Not a lot of people do come on holiday here, but the chance now is that they've got a chance to go on holiday.
Yeah.
To come and not only that, and it's free when we get there. You know,
By the way,
where it's great, isn't it?
If you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide that me and Brian made, it's 5 days worth of videos, and it tells you all about life in New Zealand. They're absolutely fantastic, those videos, aren't they, Brian? You won't find them anywhere else on the internet, I can guarantee you that. And then at the end of those 5 days, you are offered the chance to become a member of this community that we keep talking about. So yeah, you pay for your membership, and within that membership you get hours and hours and hours of videos about New Zealand that we've made for you, unreleased podcasts that we've made for you that we never put out to the public, they were saved for our community. And you become part of what's called our Slack group, our NZ Slackers group, where it's just this mass of beautiful people all doing the same as you're doing, moving to New Zealand and supporting each other.
Like-minded people.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just thought I'd mention that because we're talking quite a lot about the community. So if you do want to sign up for that, go and sign up for the free 5-day guide. The reason we ask that you sign up for that guide rather than just say, oh, there you go, here's the membership, is because we only want people in that community that are really committed to moving to New Zealand. Yep. This isn't just maybe, one day. Yep. It's people who are supporting each other who have got the same goal in mind.
And when we say supporting, it's full-on supporting. These people are meeting up together in New Zealand when they get there.
Yeah.
They're actually, we've got umpteen people have helped people get jobs in the same place that they are in. Say the same hospital even.
Yeah.
If they're coming over as nurses or whatever. And, that side of it is just absolutely amazing. We've actually helped people get jobs as well, and it's just amazing to see it. Even like rentals that we've got Dan in the community, he's leaving his rental and he's offering it to other people before it goes on the market. Nice, and you just think, wow, how great's that?
Yeah. So anyway, that's the community we're talking about that me and Brian run and facilitate. And so if you'd like to know more about these free 5-day video guides and then get offered the chance to become a member of that community, please go to
www.nzahead.com/free. So www.nzahead.com/free.
Well done, Brian. I thought you were going to get a bit tongue-tied then. Right. So, so there's your little package of how to tackle the telling the parents and just, how you can go about it. It's just all about making it, I think, just sweet for everyone, isn't it, Brian?
Well, it's got to work for you more than anything because this is you're changing your life, and you're, looking at a better lifestyle, just bringing your kids up in a safe environment and all those sort of things, and just, stepping back in time to the correct values of what we should be at, What would you do, Brian, if your dad or your mum had said, please, 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 I don't want you to go. Please don't go. What would you do? What would you have done? Well, again, just like I've said, this is a choice that I need to do for myself and the family, basically, because that's what we went over as a family. And we kept talking and talking and talking about it. And so you're either going to keep talking about it or you just get it on and do it. And we would have just driven ourselves mad, I think, thinking that this isn't the place for us. We want to go to New Zealand. And so to turn around and say, you're not going to go, just because your parents say that, you have to ask them the questions. Why don't you want us to go? What is it that you think I'm going to be better here, in whatever country that you're in? Because people do turn around and say, what are you going there for? It's no different over there than what it is here. And as people said it to me, guys I used to work for, that's what they said. Well, what's the difference? You make life wherever it is. And it's like, well, because it's a burning thing for me to want to go and move to the other side of the world. And I really want to go and do this. And I want to see it and see if life is different. And for sure, it was.
Yeah.
A big style as well. Just lifestyle. And I'm not talking that you've got more money. I'm just talking the lifestyle. Everyday occurrences that happen to you just make you feel so different. And I think that's what the big thing when people say lifestyle. What, you're going to have a boat and a Ferrari in the driveway? Well, no, it's not about that. It's about the people you're hanging around with. It's about the people you see every day. You know, don't forget the average of yourself is the average of the people that you hang around with. So, you know, if everyone's
the average of the 5 people you hang around with.
Yes, I'm just saying. That's trying to just put it in simple terms as such, because, you know, the people that you meet are positive and that you're working with are going to be a lot more positive. It's not all doom and gloom. So that's what it was to me, just to see what it was like. I don't like Lord of the Rings as well.
Right. As some of you might know, we're currently in Europe. We're recording this from Europe, actually. We left, we left New Zealand for a few months to come
our kids
to do this road. Yeah, no.
Should be the other way, shouldn't it?
I was going to say, Sonny and Tess are probably there making a video. What happens when your parents leave you on your own? No, they're with my mum, so they're absolutely fine. Yeah. And they're not. Well, yeah. They are kids, of course. They'll always be kids. I don't care if they're 80 years old, they'll always be my kids.
I can't remember if, you know, because that's another side of it, you know, parents actually leaving their kids to go move to New Zealand.
My mum left Jamie.
That's what I was about to say. But did we put that on NZ Ahead, that podcast?
Well, if it's not on NZ Ahead, go to It's a Drama and find
I was going to say, we will release it.
What, on NZ Ahead?
On NZ Ahead.
All right, then. Yeah, that's a really good interview, that. I interviewed my mum.
We'll release it next week if it's not on there already.
Yeah, all right, then.
It's on It's a Drama, but save the messing around.
But also don't forget as well, if you are new to this, if you're just listening to this podcast now and you're like, oh, wow, I've just found NZ Ahead, there's masses of other New Zealand content over on our It's a Drama from the early days. So if you go to itsadrama.com, go to the podcast, there's lots and lots of videos and podcasts about New Zealand. So should just mention that.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel and all sorts.
We've been very busy, haven't we, Brian?
Yeah, we have.
We like talking about New Zealand.
But this channel is just for this. But the other channel's got the stuff on there as well.
Yeah. Right. So, going back to us in Europe. So, this is the thing that we wanted to talk to you about. You know, when we said we had something to tell you and you need to know about this. Because, to be honest, I don't think any of the members in our community have yet to go. They're yet to go back, are they?
I don't think anyone's gone back. There might be some. I think Floss has gone back.
Oh, yeah. Floss has gone back.
And, you know, you've those videos with Floss and Des, they're the people that sailed around the world to get to New Zealand from England. Yeah. But it took them 3 years.
That's right.
So that's another podcast. Go and listen to that.
Yeah.
It was about 3 or 4 before this one, isn't it?
It's brilliant, that.
Yeah.
But she went back. And to be honest, this might not apply to you. This might just be us and our family. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just us. But this is the thing you've got to be aware of.
Yeah, so when you do go back, like we have just come back now.
When you go back to the place that you've left, either America, South Africa, Europe, wherever you are, England.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Yeah. Just be aware, right? No one wants to hear about it.
Yep.
Just zip it, because we don't want to talk about New Zealand.
Yep. The first thing that people will say is like, oh, hey, how you doing? You'll never guess what's happened.
Yeah.
And that's all they want to tell you is what's been happening since you left.
You have got to be very, very, very aware that no one's going to want to know, right? Yeah. And that's it. Maybe your friend down the road, I don't know, maybe they will, but I'm telling you now, your relatives, well, ours weren't anyway, none of my relatives ever say to me, so can you just tell us what life is like in New Zealand? What do you do every day?
Yeah. What's the weekly routine? Yeah. What do you do on Saturdays?
Yeah.
There's no football to go and watch. What do you go and do?
They don't want to know.
They just don't care.
No, they don't care.
It's like you start to talk about it and then they go, oh, yeah, that's like that here.
There's a funny atmosphere when you start to talk about it.
But it's like that here, and the subject gets changed back to here.
And what I think that is, and fair enough, honestly. I just think it's like, do you know what? We haven't done it.
Yeah.
I know you have, but we haven't. We're all still here and doing our lives, and our lives, we want to talk about our lives, you know?
Yeah.
It's just,
and that's what you've come over to see them for.
Yeah.
So you just kind of go, yeah, all right.
It comes as a shock, though, doesn't it?
It's just a bit weird because they want to tell you everything that's going on and what they do, and, the house is falling down and all this sort of stuff. And all the positive things as well, obviously. But...
Really?
Yeah. But sometimes, and me being handy, I don't know, it's just like, so you help with the house falling down sometimes.
They love it when you turn up, right?
Yeah, I don't mind helping out. But
so just something to be aware of.
It's just a funny one because you're so excited to go home and see everyone, and then it just feels
bit of an anticlimax,
because you never can tell them what you've been doing. But that's where, again, it's your choice. And that's what almost like they look at you as if like, well, you chose to move there.
Yeah.
Or some people turn around and say, oh, you're lucky you live in New Zealand. And you go, I know, there's no luck in it.
No.
We made this happen.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we got off our
lucky.
bums and went over and tried a different lifestyle, knowing full well you can always come back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, you never know. One day we might go back. Who would ever know? You know, if the kids went back. But
I'd be interested though. So if you were listening to this, right, and you have moved to New Zealand, or any member in our community that listens to this, well, I'll tell you this anyway. But if you go back, I want to know. I'm not talking about the first couple of lines, like, oh yeah, how is it? Or how's life? I'm talking about after like the first 2 hours. I want to know if they're still asking you about New Zealand,
even day 2.
Yeah, or if it's just let's not mention that.
Yeah,
let's just.
But you get some people who, you know, oh, I haven't seen you for the last 4 years. Where have you been? Because they don't really know you. You just dropped off their radar.
It's a bit like when you go on holiday, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, when you used to go on holiday and you'd come back and you'd be like, hiya, and they'd be like, yeah, are you all right? And you'd be like, yeah, I've been on holiday. Oh yeah. Oh, anyway, guess
what's happened?
Yeah, and that's what it's like, isn't it?
Remember him up the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's
like. But that's
like.
what I say. It's like, but you will meet those people that are genuinely interested, but they tend not to be the family. Tend to be like, I don't know, guy from four doors down or something, you know?
Do you know what the really lovely thing, I'm going to give you a positive now about going back home to see your family, because I don't want you sitting there thinking, well, I'm not going back there because that's just going to be miserable. The really lovely thing when you visit family, when you come back into their lives, because you haven't got a house and a mortgage and a job and a car where, you know, like let's say you go back to England, because you haven't got a life there anymore, you can totally and utterly immerse yourself into your family's life. And I love that, Bri.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, when we went to Linda's, and it's just like you just step into their life.
Yes.
And become part of their life.
Part of their family for a
little bit. And you never do that normally because you're too busy getting on with your own life.
Or you just go for the weekend. Yeah. So, and they're off, you're off. But it's when you see what them doing and they're all going to work and things like that.
That gives you that bonding time. It gives you that time to just get to know each other on a different level that you wouldn't normally have that because, like I say, you're too busy with your own lives. But this is like someone taking you out of your life, putting them into, you into theirs. And it's just a really nice feeling. I love it.
When we went back this last time, my sister took some time off, and it was great because it was just like, oh wow, you're coming out with us for the day. We went over to Falmouth, and then I remember going out for a drink with her and stuff like that.
Lovely.
And it was just nice to catch up, just one on one. Like took my dad out for something to eat and things like that together. So it was just the three of us, and it was really really nice.
Yeah, just quality time.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's not all doom and gloom. And I know it's just that initial horrible hurdle that you've got to get over where you say, can we just have a word? Because we just need to talk to you about something. Oh, by the way, we're moving to the other side of the world. Yeah. After you've told them that,
when
just
you're going
push
tomorrow.
this podcast towards them and just say, and just remember all the things we've told you, all the positives and all the things that can be good and will be good about you moving to New Zealand.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's it. You've got to just be strong.
Yeah.
That's it. And just keep focused and that's what you want to do and that's what you want to achieve in your life with your kids. Take your family to the next level. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So until next time, I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much for being here. And like I say, if you haven't joined up to that free 5-day, go and do that now. www.nzahead.com/free. And you can get all the details about this community that we're always gushing about because we just love them so much.
Yeah. It's just getting bigger and bigger, that community. So get in now, I would say. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so kia kaha, like we just said a minute ago, stay strong. And kia u, stay true. That's true to yourself, okay?
Okay.
It's your choice.
Yes.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you loved this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand and get on over here yourself.
And tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is really like in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. Go over to www.nzahead.com/free and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead.com/free.
nzahead/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye again. Bye.
Bye.